Reading essay on William Golding's Pincher Martin: A Rescue from the Unknown Sea. Hello. Do you ever feel that you lack knowledge or cultivation? Do you find reading difficult, complex, and uninteresting? Today, I would like to introduce you to a book that will not only expand your knowledge but also offer a profound experience of understanding life more deeply, reflecting on yourself, and gaining a fresh perspective on the world. The book we will explore together is Pincher Martin by William Golding, the Nobel Prize-winning author. This book is not easy to read. At times, it can be confusing, uncomfortable, and even unsettling. Yet, precisely in these discomforts and complexities, we gain a rare opportunity to look deeply into the essence of life and death and the very nature of humanity. It might feel like sailing a small boat through stormy seas. But don't be afraid, let me be your guide as we uncover the significance of this journey. 1. A distant, in the endless ocean. Pincher Martin's Scream. The story begins in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean during World War II. The protagonist is Christopher Halliday Martin, commonly known as Pincher Martin, a British naval officer. His ship is torpedoed by the Germans and sinks, throwing Pincher into the cold sea. He struggles for survival, swimming desperately until he finally reaches a small, barren rock or reef. This rock is so tiny and desolate that he cannot sit or lie down comfortably, just a minuscule point within the vast ocean. Pincher's lonely battle begins here. He fights hunger, thirst, the cold, the scorching sun, and above all, the unbearable loneliness. He scavenges for crabs and seaweed in the crevices of the rocks, tries to boil seawater for drinking, and is constantly alert for passing ships or aircraft. His struggle for survival is painful and tragic, as if all of his primal instincts converge to resist death. How would you react in such a situation? You would likely do everything you could, just as Pincher does. Through this section, we simultaneously feel the resilience of human beings and our helplessness in the face of nature. However, the story transcends a mere survival narrative. As Pincher endures his physical suffering, his mind gradually begins to collapse. He is consumed by memories of the past, hallucinations, and chaotic thoughts. Images of his life flash before him: relationships with friends, the women he loved, and the wrongs he committed. These memories torment and erode his mind. The physical isolation of the rock becomes a mirror reflecting the depths of his inner turmoil. 2. The portrait of a selfish self. The meaning behind his name. Why is he called Pincher? The term pincher literally means someone who pinches with pincers, a thief, or someone with insatiable greed. While his comrades may have used the nickname playfully, it actually captures the core of Christopher Martin's character. He was an extremely selfish man who stole from others, betrayed his friends for his own desires, and used women for his own benefit. Although he viewed himself as competent and charismatic, his inner self was filled with indifference to others' suffering and a ruthless pursuit of personal gain. As his struggle for survival on the rock continues, Pincher's past becomes increasingly vivid. He justifies all his wrongdoings, blames others, and even believes his suffering is part of a divine test. His self is like a warrior fighting against the vast sea, desperately trying to reject death and prove his existence. One could say that Pincher's survival struggle is not just a defense against physical pain, but a fierce resistance and outburst against his self being erased. Even in the face of death, he wants to control it according to his will, living his life as he always has. At this point, we witness the dark side of human nature through Pincher Martin. In society, we often encounter people like Pincher. Perhaps there is even a part of Pincher hidden within each of us. The book unflinchingly shows how our true selves emerge in extreme situations. As physical pain transitions into mental suffering and past guilt amplifies current hardship, we confront the fundamental question: what does it mean to be human? 3. A shocking twist: the truth behind everything. The most significant reason Pincher Martin has left a deep impact on many readers is the twist hidden in the story's conclusion. Just as Pincher's desperate struggle for survival seems about to end, a rescue ship appears. 2 people from the ship disembark and discover Pincher's corpse. Here, a chilling truth is revealed. In reality, Pincher Martin had already died immediately after his ship sank. All the experiences he endured, his struggle to survive, the hallucinations, and the memories, were part of his mind's last, desperate outburst as he neared death. As his body sank cold into the sea, his consciousness stretched time, creating the illusion of an endless battle for survival. The rock he stood on was not just a physical reef. It was the island of his consciousness, his self's final resistance against annihilation. This shocking twist brings readers confusion and deep contemplation. All the emotions we shared with Pincher, sympathy for his suffering and hope for his survival, are suddenly overturned. This truth is not just a narrative reversal, it poses fundamental questions about life, death, and the boundary between reality and illusion. 4. Questions that Pincher Martin poses to us. Pincher Martin is not a book that can be comfortably read. However, the questions it raises offer profound insights into our lives. Broadening knowledge and cultivation begins not simply with knowing a lot, but with thoughtful consideration of such fundamental questions. 1. The meaning of life and death. Is death truly the end? Pincher Martin's story asks us what death really is. Is it the complete extinction of consciousness, or is it a space where the mind still struggles until the final moment, as Pincher did? Rather than seeing death as a vague object of fear, the book emphasizes the importance of acknowledging and accepting the finiteness of life. Recognizing that our lives are finite makes us cherish the present and strive to live meaningfully. 2. The dark side of human nature facing the Pincher within us. Pincher's extreme selfishness and self-centeredness serve as an uncomfortable mirror. In our daily lives, we often sacrifice others for our own benefit or refuse to admit our mistakes. Through Pincher's extreme character, we are prompted to question whether we too hide similar self-centeredness within us and how indifferent we are to others' suffering. This introspection can be the first step toward becoming better human beings. 3. Self and identity. What is I? Pincher's desperate effort to maintain his sense of self at the threshold of death raises the question of what constitutes the self. Our identity is formed by our body, mind, memories, experiences, and relationships with others. Even as his physical form disappeared, Pincher clung to the idea of I. This book compels us to deeply explore the essence of self and reflect on what values we must pursue in life to discover our true selves. 4. The boundary between reality and illusion. Is what we believe the truth? The setting that all of Pincher's experiences were hallucinations before death presents the question of what reality is. Are all our perceptions, feelings, and experiences objective truths? Sometimes, under extreme pain or psychological pressure, we distort reality or fall into our own illusions. This book reminds us how fragile our perception of reality is and how easily we can be misled. 5. Beyond knowledge and cultivation. Implications for our lives. Pincher Martin offers important insights that can reshape the direction of our lives. 1. Reading as a mirror for self-reflection. Are you ever too busy with daily life to truly reflect on yourself? This book stops us in our tracks and, through the character of Pincher Martin, invites us to examine our inner selves. It gives us the chance to deeply contemplate how we have lived, the impact we've had on others, and the values we truly hold dear. This self-reflection is the true beginning of cultivation. 2. Humility and awareness of limitations. Humans are often prone to arrogance. We may mistakenly believe we can control everything and live solely for our desires. However, Pincher Martin's story reminds us how small and limited we are in the face of nature and death. Acknowledging our inability to control everything and approaching life with humility allows us to appreciate the small things and cherish our relationships. 3. Reevaluating the meaning and value of life. Pincher, having led a selfish and greedy life, desperately clings to his existence at the brink of death. If only he had lived a life filled with empathy and love, how different would things be? This book continuously challenges us to rethink the meaning and value of our lives. Beyond mere survival, what values should we pursue to lead a meaningful and fulfilling life? The process of seeking answers to these questions through reading guides us toward a cultivated and enriched life. 4. The power of reading courage to tackle difficult books. Pincher Martin is certainly not an easy read. Yet, precisely in this difficulty, we confront questions we rarely consider, allowing for deep contemplation. Like building muscle, reading challenging books strengthens our capacity for thought. Initially, it may feel difficult and overwhelming, but by persevering and moving forward step by step, we eventually discover a broader and deeper world, as well as a better understanding of ourselves. Reading is not just a means of transmitting knowledge, it is a powerful tool for inner growth. 6. Conclusion: A journey of self-discovery through reading. William Golding's Pincher Martin is a work that offers profound insight into life and death, the dark side of human nature, and the essence of self. While it confronts us with uncomfortable truths, it also gives us the opportunity to deeply understand and reflect on ourselves. If you currently find reading difficult or distant, that's okay. What matters is that right now, as you read this, you are joining me in contemplating the life and struggles of Pincher Martin, reflecting on me and ourselves. Reading this book is like sailing into the unknown sea. Though you may encounter rough waves and unexpected reefs, through this journey, you will ultimately discover treasures and complete your own map. Pincher Martin possesses a strong power that lingers in our minds long after we've finished the book, continuously posing questions. I hope each of you embarks on a meaningful journey to explore the ocean within your own soul and to discover the true meaning of life. Reading is not only the key to unlocking the door of knowledge, but also a magical experience that enriches and gives meaning to our lives. I sincerely encourage you to join this brave exploration and have your life filled with deeper wisdom and cultivation.